I, 22-year-old female, married my husband last August. My sister-in-law, 28-year-old female, came home from prison in 2021. We lived with his parents previously. I left some belongings behind. His sister moved back home with their parents. My husband and I received a call from his mum that his sister wanted the room where we had stayed in. We moved 2 hours away, so we asked to wait for the weekend so we could come grab my stuff. His sister didn't want to wait and said she'd box everything up. That weekend, I noticed that some of my things had been missing. I didn't think anything of it until I got home and couldn't find these things. The next time we went to his parents' house, my husband and I decided to go see if we could find my things. We found all of my missing possessions in her room. His dad said she had stolen in the past but thought she had changed. His mum said that it didn't matter as they were just material things. When I asked his sister, she said she never saw those items. I wanted us to be close, but after this, I just couldn't see how I could trust her again. I asked her to step down from being a bridesmaid. His cousin was also a bridesmaid. His cousin said she no longer wanted to be a part of the wedding if his sister wasn't. After all of this, it started a huge family feud. His aunt, uncle and parents demanded that we all sit down and have a conversation. They told me that I was being selfish by changing my mind. I felt pressured during this conversation. It was apparent that my decision was not going to be respected. I felt compelled to let them be bridesmaids in our wedding. Months passed and I'm still feeling uncomfortable about the entire situation. I confronted my husband about this and he told me that I need to put my foot down. My husband and I confronted his parents and told them that his sister and cousin will not be in the wedding. We made the suggestion to have them be ushers instead so that they could still be a part of the wedding. His mum got extremely angry and said that ushers aren't even an important part of a wedding and talked about how that was a slap in the face. His parents also decided that they would not be helping out nor attending the wedding. One of his family members also told the lady who was supposed to be doing hair for the wedding about this feud. The hairdresser was his cousin's girlfriend's mum. 3 days before the wedding, she cancelled on me. I uninvited her to the wedding since she wasn't going to be doing hair. FYI, she did still do his mum's hair, cousin and his sister's. This confirmed that she cancelled because of the entire bridesmaid situation. To conclude, they were not bridesmaids in our wedding. They did decide to wear their bridesmaid dresses to the wedding. His family did end up coming to the wedding. No one spoke to me from his family. A year later, I'm still pondering on the thought, am I the idiot for asking my sister-in-law to step down from being a bridesmaid? Now for a few comments before the update. Comment 1. Not the idiot, but did you get your stuff back? Keep protecting your peace and congrats. Comment 2. Why did you marry this person? Your life is always going to be drama. I hope it's not too late. Good luck. Now for the update. The tension with my husband's family hasn't subsided. In fact, it's only gotten worse. After the last update, things seemed like they might cool down, but then the bomb dropped. My husband's sister, whom I asked to step down from being a bridesmaid, has been spiraling again. 2 weeks ago, she was arrested for shoplifting. It's like a bad echo of her past, and it has thrown the family into chaos. The strain on my marriage has become unbearable. My husband is torn between supporting me and standing by his sister during what's clearly another difficult time for her. He started to second-guess our decision to have her step down from the wedding, and that alone has been a massive blow to our relationship. We argue constantly, not just about his sister, but about everything. The stress has exposed cracks in our marriage that I didn't know existed. Last week, my mother-in-law called, begging us to help with the legal fees for my sister-in-law. When we refused, citing our own financial goals and constraints, she lashed out, accusing me of never really being a part of the family. She's convinced that if I had just let her daughter be a bridesmaid, none of this would have happened. It's absurd, of course, but it's devastating to hear such things being said. And if all that wasn't enough, my husband lost his job. The company he worked for is struggling and had to let go of several employees. We're surviving on my income now, but just barely. Savings are dwindling, and with the added emotional turmoil, every day feels like wading through a nightmare. The hardest part, we can't even afford therapy. I know we need it, especially given everything we're facing, but it's just not within our reach financially. We're holding on to each other by a thread, and I'm scared that this could be the thing that unravels us. I thought marriages were supposed to endure through the worst of times, but no one ever tells you how heavy the worst can be. I'm trying to be strong for both of us, but some days I just don't know how we'll make it through. Now for the comments. Comment 1. Not the idiot. Your sister-in-law's choices are her own, and it's unfair for your mother-in-law to blame you for her actions. You're in a tough spot, but you're not responsible for other adults' behaviour. It's a shame your husband isn't more supportive, though. Maybe try some free online resources for couples in conflict. Comment 2. You're the idiot for not showing more empathy towards your husband's situation. His sister's arrest and his job loss are huge stressors, and he needs your support. It's not about taking sides, but showing understanding during a family crisis. This could be a time to strengthen your bond, not let it crumble. Comment 3. Not the idiot. Financial stress and family drama are a nightmare combo, but blaming you for his sister's mistakes is out of line. It sounds like you're doing your best in an impossible situation. Stick to your guns and maybe look for community support groups for both of you to lean on. Now for the next story. My brother met, married, divorced and remarried the same woman in his early 20s, but eventually separated without divorcing. He later meets another woman, settles down, and has a couple more kids but never marries due to still being married to the first woman, but having no relationship with her for 12 years. Unfortunately, he passed suddenly and without a will, so his marital and relationship status complicated things. His final wishes were to be cremated and have his ashes partially spread and part buried, and his girlfriend currently has possession of them. The area where his ashes are to be spread is a full day of hiking that she and I are not capable of completing. 3 days before his passing, he received several firearms due to the passing of our grandfather a few months prior. Other family members have asked me to get the guns back so that they can remain in the family. It's been 6 months since my brother's passing. Am I the jerk for asking his girlfriend to return my grandfather's guns and asking for some of his remains so that we can lay him to rest? Now for a few comments before the update. Comment 1. Not the idiot for asking. She's not legally entitled to anything but ask nicely, since she's still grieving. Now for the update. After I posted last time, things went crazy. The girlfriend, let's call her Jane, reached out wanting to meet. She said she had something important to discuss regarding my brother's possessions. We agreed to meet at a local diner. When I got there, I was shocked to see she wasn't alone. With her was a man I'd never seen before. He introduced himself as an attorney. My heart sank. I thought this was about to get ugly, but it turns out he was there for a completely different reason. Jane and the attorney explained that after our brother passed, she found a USB drive tucked away in a locked drawer. It was password protected, but she guessed the password. Turns out it was our old dog's name. On it was a document that expressed my brother's final wishes. It wasn't a formally executed will, but it was something. In this document, my brother wrote that he wanted his ashes scattered at his favourite fishing spot, the same one we grew up going to with our parents. It also mentioned the firearms. He'd intended to pass them down to our cousin, a fact that surprised us, but felt very much like him considering they'd become close in the last few years. Jane handed me a printed copy of the document, her hands shaking. She said she didn't feel right keeping this from us, but she was obviously torn up about it. The next part is where it gets truly wild. Our cousin, hearing about the firearms, came forward with a confession. He'd been in touch with my brother in the days before his passing. My brother had actually given him one of the guns as a gift during a visit that no one else knew about. He had kept quiet out of respect for the family and the complicated situation, but now felt this was the right time to speak up. Jane, still holding on to the ashes and the rest of the guns, was in tears. She loved my brother but understood our family's wishes. We decided to do the scattering of the ashes together as a blended family of sorts to honour my brother's last wishes. The day we did it was both heartbreaking and beautiful. We shared stories, cried, and even managed a few laughs. Regarding the guns, our cousin agreed to take care of them until we could sort out the legal side of things, and Jane was relieved to hand them over. There was an unexpected sense of unity in what had initially felt like a brewing battle. But here's the jaw-dropping part. During the scattering of the ashes, another woman showed up. Nobody recognized her at first. She introduced herself as an old flame of my brother, someone he'd been seeing on and off before he met Jane. She'd heard about his passing and wanted to pay her respects. It was a moment right out of a soap opera, but there she was, genuine and grieving like the rest of us. So, here we are, 2 weeks later. The guns are with our cousin, and my brother's wishes have been honoured in the most unexpected way. We're all still processing the twists and turns, but I can't help but feel like in the end, my brother brought us all together one last time. It's been a wild ride, but I think we've all learned something about family, love and letting go. Now for the comments. Comment 1. You're the idiot for not immediately questioning the cousin's claim about the gun gift. Your brother's wishes were documented on that USB, and unless he mentioned giving a gun to the cousin before his passing, it's a bit sketchy. Grieving or not, it's important to ensure his actual wishes are respected to the letter, especially when it comes to something as serious as passing down firearms. Comment 2. Not the idiot, you did what was needed to honor your brother's memory. It's not uncommon for people to verbally promise personal belongings to loved ones before they pass. If your cousin felt confident enough to confess, it's likely your brother did indeed give him the gun. You made the best decisions you could with the information you had, and that's all anyone can ask for. Comment 3. Not the idiot at all, you followed your brother's final wishes as best as you could, and that's commendable. Dealing with an unexpected guest like the old flame could have been tough, but it seems like you handled it with grace. It's touching to hear that this sad event brought your family closer together. The fact that you're all at peace with how things turned out is what truly matters. Now for the next story. I had a child several months ago, and from the start I made it clear to my family about the boundaries. I asked my boyfriend to share the boundaries with his family. I don't think it's my responsibility to do that kind of stuff with them. My boyfriend's mother has been overstepping boundaries from the beginning. Just to provide some background, at the shower, I wanted something small and simple. This woman booked an entire bartender. I clearly expressed that I didn't want anyone drunk at the shower. It didn't seem appropriate. However, she ended up being extremely drunk at the shower. After the shower, she only referred to me as baby mama or grandbaby. At the hospital, she made all kinds of comments. One of the main ones was when she told me I needed to hold my baby's neck while she was on me, although I already was. When we got home from the hospital, she came over and literally thanked me for giving birth to her child for her. She refers to my child as her baby. She always makes passive-aggressive comments when I'm around, like saying my kid is going to overheat because she had a pullover on in November. She tries to tell me my baby isn't hungry when she clearly is. She also gets mad that I won't let her watch my kid, although nobody else does. And when I'm ready to let her, she won't be able to because she smokes cigarettes in her house. When I bring up these issues to my boyfriend, he always defends her. Now for a few comments before the update. Comment 1. Not the idiot. Smoking near a baby? Do all you can to defend yourself and your son against this woman. Comment 2. Not the idiot, his mother is overbearing and he isn't sticking up for you. That's a problem. Now for the update, I thought the baby shower was the peak of drama, but I clearly underestimated the situation. A few days after my last update, my boyfriend's mom, let's call her mother-in-law for clarity, showed up at our house unannounced with a full-on professional photographer. She said she wanted to have a surprise generational photo shoot with our baby. I was caught off guard, and before I could even process what was happening, she had swept my baby from my arms and was positioning him for shots. When I protested, she told the photographer I was just overwhelmed with emotion and to keep snapping pictures. Later, when I confronted my boyfriend, he actually sided with her, saying she was just excited and I should appreciate the gesture. We had a massive argument, our worst yet. I felt so alone and unsupported. The tension became unbearable. The next day, mother-in-law posted all the photos on her social media, complete with captions like, "Proud grandma and her new baby." I saw red. Friends and distant relatives were commenting as if she were the mother. I asked her to take the photos down and correct the narrative, but she refused, saying, "A grandma can dream, can't she?" But wait, it gets worse. Just when I thought it couldn't escalate further, mother-in-law managed to cross an unforgivable line. She secretly met with a pediatrician and tried to authorize a change in my baby's diet, citing her vast experience as a mother. When I found out, I was shocked. This was beyond intrusive. It was a direct challenge to my parenting. I demanded that my boyfriend take action. It took a shouting match and me threatening to leave, but he finally agreed to a family meeting. It was the most intense discussion I've ever been a part of. Mother-in-law played the victim, and my boyfriend was caught between us, but I stood my ground. I laid out the consequences of her continuing to ignore my boundaries. I made it clear that any further interference would mean she would not be allowed to see her grandson unsupervised. My boyfriend reluctantly backed me up, probably realizing this was about to tear us apart. Mother-in-law left in a huff, and things have been icy since. My boyfriend has been quiet, and I can tell he's torn, but he's slowly starting to acknowledge that his mother's behavior is not normal or acceptable. I've now insisted on family therapy, and he's agreed to start attending sessions. We're trying to navigate this minefield together, but it's clear that things with mother-in-law are going to be strained for a long time. The journey ahead is daunting, but I'm determined to protect my child and my peace at home. Wish us luck. Now, for the comments. Comment 1. Not the idiot. Your mother-in-law sounds like she's boundary stomping to the extreme. Showing up with a photographer and posting as if she's the baby's mother is delusional, and going behind your back to change the baby's diet. Totally unacceptable. You're right to stand your ground, and therapy sounds like a much-needed step for your family. Keep those boundaries firm for your baby's sake. Comment 2. You're the idiot. While your mother-in-law definitely overstepped with the photo shoot and social media posts, it sounds like you might be escalating the tension. Family is about compromise and your boyfriend is caught in the middle. Maybe try to find a way to work together with your mother-in-law for the sake of peace and your child's well-being, rather than demanding action that puts your boyfriend in a tough spot with his mom. Comment 3. Not the idiot at all. Secretly changing a baby's diet, that's not just overstepping, that's a health risk. You're totally justified in laying out consequences and insisting on family therapy. Your boyfriend should have had your back from the start, not just reluctantly. Mother-in-law needs to learn her place, and you're doing the right thing by protecting your child and setting clear boundaries. Stay strong. Now, for the next story, I moved in with my boyfriend a month ago. We agreed to split everything that is shared 50-50, like furniture and bills and food, but not share money other than that. Neither one of us is rich or poor, but makes about double what I do. We bought a table for the house and it came with a gift card of $75 to that store. We split the price of the table and agreed to split the price of the gift card too, or spend it on something we both wanted. Nothing struck us right then, so we decided to wait. Since then, I found something at the store that I want, but he isn't interested in getting. We were out this weekend and I found $125 on the ground. He said that money should go towards mutual expenses. I said that's fine, and I will use the gift card just for me. He thinks it's unfair for me to use all of the gift card and half of the found money too. I think that I am owed 50% of the gift card since I contributed half of the bill. If I share 50% of the found money with him, I'm being very nice. And it's stupid for him to argue for half of a gift card when there's nothing he wants from that store, and cash is more useful. Am I the idiot? Now for a few comments before the update. Comment 1. You're the idiot. Finding money on the ground doesn't change your gift card agreement. The two things are not related. Half the gift card is still his. You should have said no to splitting the cash, but you didn't. Comment 2. You guys should have separate accounts, one for yourself and one for both of you, and then things with the house. Now for the update. So I came here a couple of weeks ago with a dilemma about financial fairness and splitting costs with my boyfriend. After reading through everyone's advice, I decided to stick to my guns and use the gift card for myself. I mean, I did pay for half the table, right? It only seemed fair. I got myself a nice pair of headphones that I'd been eyeing for a while. Boyfriend wasn't thrilled, but he grudgingly accepted it. Or so I thought. 3 days later, he comes home with a TV. Not just any TV, but a massive state-of-the-art smart TV. His reasoning? He sold the $75 gift card online for $65 to someone because apparently he didn't want anything store-specific, and then threw in the $125 we found. Plus, he'd withdrawn the same amount from our shared expenses account, claiming that since I got something for myself, he should too. So now we've got this elephant of a TV in our living room that I didn't agree to, and half the money from our shared account gone. That's not even the kicker. The next day I get a call from my credit card company about suspicious activity. Guess who decided to borrow my credit card to pay for the TV's extended warranty? You've got it. When confronted, he said it was an investment for both of us and promised to pay it back. Promises. Things were tense, and then Hurricane X decided to blow through town. His ex-girlfriend, who I only knew from stories of their dramatic past, showed up at our place. She'd heard about our little financial feud from a mutual friend and decided to play financial advisor. Apparently, she and my boyfriend used to share everything 50-50, and she couldn't believe he was still pulling the same stunts. Long story short, the ex's visit turned into a full-blown financial intervention. There were raised voices, accusations of stinginess and irresponsibility, and an impromptu spreadsheet session on shared expenses and personal finances. The ex, surprisingly, sided with me on the gift card issue and tore into my boyfriend about using my credit card. By the end of the night, My boyfriend was apologizing profusely. I was emotionally exhausted but also oddly grateful for the ex's unexpected cameo. We've now reworked our entire approach to finances. We've set up a new shared account strictly for household expenses and agreed on a monthly contribution based on our incomes, not a strict 50-50. As for personal purchases, we've agreed to discuss any large spending from our personal accounts if it might affect the other person. Oh, and the TV. It's still here, but he's working off the credit card debt through extra household chores and cooking me dinner every night until it's paid off. Call it unconventional, but it's working for us. It's been a whirlwind of drama, finance, and relationship counseling courtesy of his ex. But here we are, navigating the stormy seas of cohabitation. Now, for the comments. Comment 1. Not the idiot. Your BF using your credit card without permission is a huge red flag. It's theft, plain and simple, but kudos to you for handling it with such grace and turning it into a teachable moment. Setting up a shared account is a great solution, and it seems like he's genuinely making amends. Keep those lines of communication open. Comment 2. You're the idiot. Come on, using a gift card for yourself and expecting him not to notice. That's just petty. It sounds like your actions sparked this whole mess. Sure, he shouldn't have used your card, but it feels like you're not taking responsibility for your part in escalating the financial tit-for-tat. Comment 3. Not the idiot. Look, everyone makes mistakes, but it's how you handle them that counts. Your BF messed up big time, but instead of holding a grudge, you both found a mature solution. Plus, getting the ex involved and her siding with you, that's some next-level diplomacy. You've turned a negative into a positive by restructuring your finances and setting clear boundaries. Well done. If you liked this video, you'll probably like these too. Also, while you're here, please consider subscribing. It's your support that keeps this channel alive and allows me to make better and longer videos. Have a great day.